Lovely. Welcome to episode 34 of Ladies Wot Pod. A very special, different episode, again, as if 33 wasn't different enough and off the scale bonkers. This is a bit more serious. A bit. Not a lot, but a bit. So, and we recorded a lot of it last week, but we're recording this bit in the heat of the heat wave. And it's very meltingly hot out there. Not so much in here, in my cave in South Northants. For those of you who are new to the pod, best introduce ourselves. I am Lis Saunders. I am a long-time season ticket holder, chairman of the Saints Supporters Club, get that in now, and a general rugby geek, really. And I live in sunny South Northants. And you are the other half?
The other half, owner of a new red hat.
That is so red.
It is very red. Yes. Thank you to Lizzie Goodchild, who managed to secure one of these at last week's test match. I now have a fine red hat, normally seen wearing a red hat with the camera stuck to my face. Claire Jones, sweltering in Cambridgeshire. Oh, it's hot out there. And yesterday I was wearing this at training. I don't cut a dash in it.
Yeah. I bet you did.
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah. Thanks to Lizzie. Yes, so I am normally behind the lens, but I am the co-host of this marvellous pod, the Ladies Wot Pod.
Just had a thought that, so one of the reasons why we got to know each other was doing work on the Mobs battalion for the foundation. And today, as we're recording it, is, of course, the anniversary. Is anniversary? Commemoration.
It is the anniversary, yes.
Yeah, it never sounds right, does it? Of the day that Edgar Mobbs was killed in a Shrewsbury forest. Very peaceful place now. Very lovely place. So,
first day of the Battle of Passchendaele.
Hats off to Edgar. And,
hats off to Edgar. And if I might mention, hats off to Albert Ely. Albert is not so famous, unlike Edgar, who was mourned at the time of his loss across the land. Albert was a farm labourer who lived in my village, and his commanding officer was Edgar Mobbs. So I went to the War Memorial early today with Dr. T, and we paid our respects. So it's a big anniversary. Yes. But you're absolutely right, Liz. One of the finest men never to play rugby for Northampton Saints sadly was killed on this day. Yeah. So anyway, but moving on to things very 21st century and what this week's pod is all about, because I wouldn't have thought ever Edgar Mobbs would have dreamt of what is occurring in our pod and where we were and what was happening. Absolutely. Thank you to the team at Loughborough Lightning, who the 6 women who kindly. Did you feel a bit perched on those stools in the?
I felt very perched. I wasn't getting off because I couldn't go back on again.
In fact, Helena Rowland couldn't. I was almost sprinting off it because you could. The bit I cut out was her trying to balance getting on the thing, and then right at the very end, she's like, "I've had enough of this. I'm off." Not surprising. They weren't the most comfortable of
not at all.
Of chairs.
Not at all, no.
But it was very kind of the 6 women from the team to join us at varying stages of their careers. Yes. And if anything, it came across what an international bunch we've got.
Haven't we?
Yeah.
Haven't we?
Isle of Man, Canada, Scotland, England,
Scotland. And what I have to say, what a cracking bunch of people they were. Absolutely tremendous fun when we got them to relax.
Yes.
We were a bit nervous.
Well, you would be a bit nervous of 2 middle-aged women like us, but anyway.
Yeah, very, very, very nervous.
What are they going to ask? What's that about?
What's all that about?
I think it did help. We spent the morning with them taking photos of them.
Yes, it did. It did.
So we had great fun, and thank you again to everybody who went with us. We had competitive group photos by the end, which is good. Bobby Bridge, who's the media manager for the Loughborough team, asked me to do what was it? What was the brief? Photos around the ground. I think we met the brief, don't you, Liz?
I think we did. Given that we were having to avoid the old crest, and the cherry picker doing work on the lights, and various
Lewis
things.
Dean doing his social media, cheating with Haribo.
With sweets.
With sweets. Yes. Although we did talk about cake. We didn't offer cake.
We didn't offer cake. No, we talked about cake.
Yes.
But yeah.
So we had a lot of hazards to get through. We did. But it meant that by the time, obviously, we did the chats with the girls, they'd actually met us. So,
they knew a bit more what to expect. They knew this wasn't going to be a normal interview at all. No. So it was.
And we had some interesting revelations. Of one of which is that Daisy Hibbert-Jones is younger than Lennie Newman. Who knew?
Yeah. I'm so glad you pointed that out. Really, because we
hadn't noticed
much. So most people. I would be careful what I say, but I think most people are younger than Lennie Newman. I have to be careful. I'm going to have to go and fact check that.
I think you could be on thin ice there, Liz.
Yeah, I think I could be.
Yes. So the Loughborough team have been busy this week. What with signing a new contracts? They've all headed off to WXV in, we learnt, South Africa, and in the case of Scotland, and Canada in the case of England. So that's great fun. Laura Keats, who I love. Laura, we didn't see Laura last week. She was a bit busy doing the day job, and so but she's back with England.
Yeah.
Excellent. Suffered an awful injury prior to the last World Cup, so couldn't compete. But she's back in the England fold and signed a new Lightning contract.
That's really good news. Really good news.
Yeah. And we've also got some medal winners, haven't we?
Apparently so. Yes. Yeah. One of which I'm particularly delighted for. I don't know her, but just because going into the semi-final, nobody gave them a chance. It was going to be Australia all the way, and then it wasn't. And amongst the Canadians was, what's her name? Oh, I can't even. I've written it down. I can't even read my own writing.
Chrissy Surfield is what you're after.
That's it. Thank you.
Recent joinee. So hopefully we'll see her soon. But well done on your silver medal. And then one of our American players got a bronze.
Yes. And
see if you can read your handwriting.
Alev.
Yeah.
Kester.
Kelter.
Well, what? Whatever.
Anyway, again, another new joinee. So, yes. So,
welcome. I will learn your names, I promise.
Yes. So, it's been great.
An embarrassment at the moment.
But we need to see their medals. I mean, I think, Bobby, we need you to bring the medals in, because there's nothing like an Olympian bringing in their medals to get kids excited.
Absolutely.
I remember when Becca saw Fatima Whitbread's medals at school, she got very excited about it, and then realised that she wasn't a sportswoman, but she got very excited anyway.
I don't think you have to be a sports person to understand the achievement that it is. And I think sometimes maybe if you're not a sports person, you actually appreciate it even more, because you think, well, I couldn't hit a ball, let alone hit it enough to get there.
Exactly. Yeah. So and Fatima actually was great fun. I had the surreal experience. I'll digress for a minute. I had this surreal experience of watching her when they did the 50th anniversary of Sports Personality of the Year, and she won it during the 80s. And the following day, I was at the school pantomime, sat next to her. Now, how bizarre is that?
Oh, that's pretty random.
Yeah. She felt it was pretty random at the time as well, from.
Yeah,
but a lovely lady, ridiculous. Really lovely lady, who had some pretty challenging times, bless her. But she was fiercely competitive.
It
was down to her and one other parent that Brentford School no longer has. Well, I don't know what it does these days, but they abandoned the parents' race because they took it so seriously. They had spikes. It was like, no, that's not the point.
You still see it. I mean, at Silverstone Primary, where the grandsons are, and we went to their sports day, and the parents race, and the dads can't wait to get to the front line. You know, they're like, yeah, I'll do it, get him. And then there's the mothers who, well, if you make me, and you think you're in your gym gear. You've not, you know, I've seen you stretching around the back. Don't give me that.
One of Becca's. I always worked on the principle as long as I didn't come last. I was quite happy. Mid-table obscurity was fine by me. But one of Becca's friends, her mum was a city barrister and literally jumped on the train to get back from the City of London to the sports day, and was still in her Chanel suit. So she basically upped her skirt up and off she went. Coming kicked off the heels, and I thought that's more what we want. None of this spikes nonsense.
Yeah, that's just taking it too seriously.
I made sure I beat her as well, because I thought, you know, that would be a little embarrassing, being beaten by somebody in a pencil skirt.
Talking of being competitive,
mm-hmm.
I was just thinking, since we were last podding, we've had an announcement of a sibling duo, haven't we?
I know another one. This is going to be so much fun. What is it about us and front rows that have to be related to each other?
Have to be brothers.
Yes. Yes. So the Waller brothers, of course, have now retired. So we've replaced the Waller brothers. And how could we replace them? Anyway, with the Langdon brothers. Yes. Welcome, Nathan. 4 years his brother's junior.
It's going to be an interesting double act, I feel, that one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the first brotherly tantrum in the middle of the pitch.
Do you think if one of them has to be replaced by the other, the one who's being replaced is just going to refuse to come off?
And are you going to put money on which one's going to do that? Let's just think for a minute.
No.
Yes.
No, because I don't know what Nathan's like. He might be.
Well, my impression of him so far, and it may be a completely false impression, apart from being a charming young man, is he's much quieter than his brother.
To be honest, that wouldn't be hard, would it? Because I can't think who it was talking to somebody and said, we wondered where the noise had come from when Mikey Haywood left. And then we found out where the noise came from when Mikey Haywood left. So,
yes. Yeah. So, and this week's news, of course, is Luke Green has joined us from San Diego Legion, who sadly lost their playoff against Seattle Seawolves. I did watch a bit of it, but anyway, they lost. And so he's now with us. He had apparently he was so keen he was going to come in straight away, but why don't you take a week off?
Yes.
But he was running around like a mad thing yesterday. Oh, they did look hot.
And talking of looking hot, what has happened to an Australian of this parish?
Well, yes. Confessed yesterday, Mr. James Brown confessed yesterday that it was a bit hot. And then he was worried he turned into a Brit.
Well, welcome, James.
But they did all look very, very
warm. Must have been sweltering.
It was sweltering.
I've done nothing this week apart from watch the grandsons going in and out of the paddling pool, really, in the garden. It's just
and that's the best thing. That's the best thing. So,
great excuse not to do anything because grandsons are here. Just
very good. No, very wise. I have watched, of course, a lot of Olympics. I'm wearing one of my Olympic T-shirts. I noticed.
Oh yes,
I didn't realise one of my favourites. Yes, I've watched a lot of Olympics, and I have done a training session. And tomorrow I'm at Stowe because it's that time of year where parents happily go, here, you have them for a few days. It's a great time. I love doing it. And it's the Loughborough, it's the girls' camp at the minute. So some of the Loughborough team are coaching the girls. So I'll be wandering around in front of a stately home with a camera stuck to my face. So that should be fun. And then Friday it's training again. And then I've got a couple of weeks off.
Brilliant.
But I'm still, so for everybody who keeps asking me, do I know everybody? No. No, I've got no idea. And at the added hazard of people cutting their hair.
Oh yes.
Because I thought I got to grips with some of them last week, and then because of the hot weather, some of them cut their hair. I mean, that's just not on.
No, that's not on. Then they all like each other as well. Then
no, yeah. So, yes. So, yes. So I'm struggling still, and apparently Johnny Vyman. I've obviously got a Johnny. If you remember him, the little scrum half.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I've obviously got a Johnny Vyman because basically I named him. Most of the new players in the academy, Johnny Vyman. Well, in actual fact, there were various others. Much to Liz Tyler's amusement, they were wearing different boots, Claire. Oh yeah, and I notice that sort of thing, but clearly I've become only eyes for Johnny. So which is poor love. Yeah. I'm only 3 times his age. Anyway, so yes, so it's been good to see everybody in training. They are working incredibly hard. And it's good to see that they're already. You can see that they're already in the way that Saints like to play. They're in that mode. There's a lot of handling skills, a lot of running around, which of course in this heat. But people, I have to say, Trevor. Big Trev, my heart yesterday sang as Big Trev broke through midfield and James Ram was trying to catch up with him.
Oh, because there was a bit of banter going on between Big Trev and James Ram earlier in the week, wasn't there, about being tackle bags or something? Yeah.
So, and Big Trev scored his try. So,
Big Trev doing Big Trev things.
Absolutely. So our props are they're motoring, even in the heat. I haven't seen much poetry. I think you witnessed what little poetry they had on the scrummaging front from Matt Ferguson. I haven't seen much at the moment. I imagine they do that in the technical skills stuff that I haven't been shooting. But yes, all very exciting. Anyway, shall we let the good people hear our interviews with
the lovely Loughborough Lightning players?
Do enjoy, everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I haven't done the introduction about welcome to episode 34.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think you're in the outtakes as well. Welcome to episode. Go for it.
Right. We normally have music and stuff, but because we're onto it again.
Yeah.
Why do you sing?
So normally we have music, but we're onto it. So for episode 34 of Ladies Wot Pod, we are here in the Carlsberg suite room at Franklin's Gardens, St Stadium Franklin's Gardens, to give it its full name. And we're here to meet some of the Loughborough Lightning ladies, and it's very exciting because I've only started watching them this season, and some cracking games that you've had, haven't you? So we're just meeting some of the Loughborough Lightning ladies, girls, women, players.
Yeah.
Players, that's what they are. Searching for the right word, and there it was.
And we've started with 2 internationals.
We have, yes. Yes, been very honoured, very honoured. So, we're not going to grill you on terribly important questions. It's more things about telling us how you got here, not by bus or anything like that, not today. I mean, how you ended up playing for Loughborough, for England, what started you on your rugby journey, that sort of thing. So, Helen, would you like to start?
Yeah, so I started playing rugby at the age of 6, had an older brother who's about 4 years older than me, and just growing up I thought I could just do everything that he did, so after a lot of nagging, my dad finally brought me down to the club, and I loved it. I loved being part of the team aspect. Played in a mixed team until 12, and then had to move clubs because they didn't have a girls team.
So which club was this?
I played for about 3 minis clubs. So I played for Aylesbury was my very first club.
Okay.
moved to Bicester and Tring, and then I had to go to Welwyn, Garden City for girls rugby, stay with the closest team, which was over an hour away, so not that close. So yeah, thanks to my dad for driving me.
Shout out to the chauffeur there.
Yes, because I definitely wouldn't have been able to do it without him. So yeah, played there for a few years through my girls rugby. Played county. It was a divisional setup back then, so played for South East, which I think it has now reverted back to again after trialling a few different pathways, and then played England under 18 sevens, just through being part of that pathway and being picked up. Hadn't really played any sevens before, but just thought I might be alright at it. And then in my final year of school, I moved to Saracens Women. Boo, yeah. Let's see. It's the face I get a lot.
Trigger warning.
Yeah. They again.
You've seen the light now.
Yeah. They again were the closest Premiership team to me at the time, and kind of just went there thinking, well, it's a good experience to train alongside the players that they've got there, be part of as it was Tyrrell's Premiership at the time, and ended up playing quite a lot there. Was playing for England under 20s at the same time, and we did win the Premiership that year. Which
nobody can take that away.
No,
Still got the medal.
Yes, I have, and it was a real whirlwind, kind of a lot more than I expected to happen that first season, and really had no anticipation of playing much at all, let alone winning it. So that was a really cool thing to be part of, and probably something that I didn't take in quite as much as I should have done at the time, having now come back into the Lightning setup and seen just how competitive it is across the board and how difficult it is to get to that point. Actually looking back and reflecting, I probably should have taken a step back a little bit more at the time, but
feel the sweet when you get there next time.
Well, we're heading in the right direction again, which is nice at Loughborough. And then I played sevens for a couple of years. Then that all got shut down with COVID, and I was actually studying up at Loughborough, but remotely. So it just seemed like the perfect fit to come back up, be able to play rugby again, knowing that there was going to be a league. And Loughborough have always been competitive. They were in semi-finals. I think they were top of the league that COVID year as well before it got cut short. So it just seemed like a perfect fit, and it's been a bit of a roller coaster the last couple of years. We've not necessarily got the results that we perhaps could have with the squad that we've had, but definitely on the up, and it's an exciting place to be.
It seemed that last season was finishing much more positively. I got the feeling just from the few games I watched that there was much more steel coming into it, and it was
that game against Ealing, I think it was good.
We could have done with the season not ending when it did.
Yes.
You were done wrong.
I think
that's quite a journey.
Yes, it is. It's wow.
She did also forget to mention she did go to the Olympics.
Oh, you just popped that in.
She forgot to mention that one.
I went with GB7s to Tokyo.
Right. Okay.
Sorry, Hal, but
well, she won't go around trumpet. She's got a PR.
Which again, I think it was something that I'd always dreamed of. Rugby sevens obviously got brought in at Rio, so something in the back of my mind. I was like, that would be unbelievable if I got the chance, which was part of the reason that I went across to sevens in the first place. Got offered a contract there. I was like, I would be stupid not to take it, because this is kind of the lead up to Tokyo. And it was amazing, kind of 18, 19 years old and travelling around the world, playing in the World Series. Got the opportunity to go to Tokyo. Bit of a different Olympic Games, I think, to what Paris is going to be, but it was still amazing. I think being around so many athletes and right at the top of their game is something that you just can't really comprehend until you're there. unfortunately came fourth in that, which is probably the worst place to finish. And I think, I mean, from the outside, that was probably a massive overachievement from where the squad was and how our preparation had been, but it doesn't make it any less gutting
so
when
close.
you
you still have Olympian as well in what's just reminded.
Yeah.
And I was going to say that you may not think you took enough of it in, but you will have done, and as you get older you'll reflect more and more on, oh, I really did that. Gosh, because I think quite often when you're doing something exceptional, because you're doing it, you don't think it's exceptional, and it's not until you have more life experience going on, you think, oh my, that really was, and that really was exceptional.
So Lily, you're making notes here now, because you're much earlier in your career, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
So what stage are we at, Lily?
So I'm 20, and I've just come back off tour with England the 20s.
Captain then?
Yeah.
Okay.
We went to Palma for a under-20 Six Nations tournament.
What an amazing town. Excuse me one moment. I keep hoping we will get
It's not going to complain.
Zebra back because that trip to Palma, the food is amazing, isn't
Palma
it?
is stunning.
It's absolutely stunning town.
And the club itself, like the stadium was really nice. And the pitch was great. Like, it was a really nice place.
It was a long time we were there. We seemed to have fences around the pitch because it was a football stadium, but it was still oh good lord, Stephen Miner was in his first season. That was how long ago it was.
He was probably at -4.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but it's a the town, city. Town.
So are you taking it all in? Are you?
Yeah, no, it was a really great tournament, and I think that, like, as a squad we played really well. Like, we obviously fell short in the last game. Probably wasn't the result that we wanted. However, like, the tournament in itself, like, we grew so much as a team, and I think that, like, we had some real good preparation going into that as well.
And that was where in the second you were really facing a deficit, weren't you, at half time in that final?
So the half time score was all right. We were really in it at half time. Second half was just
Okay,
one of those games.
One of those.
The weather was nice.
Yes, 40 minutes too long.
But, like, I definitely couldn't fault the girls' effort though. It's just those things happen. Like, games like that happen.
As we were discussing about the men's season here last season, the learning you take sometimes from a loss is greater than a series of easy wins. If you can process it and move it in the right direction.
No, completely. And I think the team that they'll have next year, because I think they've lost quite a few under 20s this year, but I think they still keep quite a lot, so I think that team will have come through this season, the learnings from this season, and take that hopefully into another Six Nations tournament next season.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So how did you get to Loughborough? What was your...
So my story is probably a little bit different. I was a lot older than Hell was when I started to play rugby, so I started to play in school. I was about 12, 13, I'd say. My best friend, her mum was the manager at the local club, which was Telford Hornets. And she basically one weekend was like, oh, we need some extra girls to come and play, will you come do it? And at the time I had a horse and I was horse riding, so I was like, oh, okay, fine. So I went, and I've never not played since. So
instantly hooked.
Yeah, so I went that weekend. We played, it was like, when I mean the rain, it was rainy, like, wow, it was rain, like so much rain. The pitch was just mud, water, like no grass.
Natural second row.
Yeah,
clearly.
That's where I was born. And
but then if you've got a horse, you're used to all that sort of doing stuff in all weathers, aren't you?
Yeah. But then played that game, fell in love with it, absolutely loved the game. Like, I've got like a picture from that first game, and I love it. Me and my best friend stood with each other, just covered like head to toe in mud. Awesome. It was great.
Dream.
Yeah. So after that, so then went back to school, obviously, so school time, like started playing in school. We had a few tournaments, then I played at club, 4 Telford tournaments every weekend, and then I went through the girls section there. We had under 13s, 15s and 18s.
Wow, so quite a big.
Yeah, and within Shropshire there was a few teams, so sometimes we'd have to like buddy up with another team to get a team together, then to play other teams. So then from that so at 16, we'll just jump to then, so at 16, not too long after that actually, I decided to go to Loughborough College to do my A-levels. And so that's obviously how I came to Loughborough initially. And then did start to do my A-levels, played for the college. So instead of it being divisional, it was Centre of Excellence when I came. So like each club had its like academy, would you say, like an academy, and where like you'd have training sessions on like a Saturday. So like I remember once that I had a training session and then like the first team were playing after, so we were like training, and then I remember the first team like running onto the pitch to warm up, and it was like crossover. That was when I was a lot younger. And then went to the so I was doing my levels in the meantime, was called up to train with the seniors, but I had to wait because I was 17, so I had to wait till I was 18. No, I don't know, I had to get signed off when I was 17 to play. Yeah, that makes sense.
We'd be given permission when 17 to
because
play.
So then trained a bit, then played against Saracens my first game, and
so quite a baptism of fire.
Yeah, and that was on the Crum, and it was in COVID, so there was no one there.
Oh.
Yeah, but it was a good game. It was actually a really close game actually. But yeah, so then played that game, didn't play for the rest of the season. Then so it was when all the internationals were away for Six Nations. And then anyway, went to the next season, and started playing for Loughborough. Like in the meantime, I played for England under 18s, been involved in those camps, been involved with under 20s. So it's been pretty cool. And then last year got one of the first transition contracts with the Red Roses.
Oh, excellent!
Then,
well done.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
So managed to go in and out of camp there too.
What happened to the horse?
Got sold.
Oh.
Yeah.
So some other girl had it.
Yeah, so a family friend who is obsessed with horses.
Oh,
good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the horse.
She's fine, everybody.
I still see the horse.
Oh!
Yeah.
What's the horse's name?
Daisy.
Daisy.
Yeah.
Daisy.
Hi, Daisy Horse.
A regular viewer.
Yeah, and she's had a foal.
Oh!
I know, and then I get sent pictures of the foal. And I'm like,
that's such a lovely, heartwarming story, isn't it? Who knew?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So the idea is that, as we said earlier, that basically our little audience, because we're not in good, the scads and the rugby.
No.
Not yet.
Ridiculous number. Not yet. We're working on it.
Yeah.
The idea is we ask the very probing questions.
Yeah.
And so our final question is going to be,
What's your favourite cake?
there you go.
Oh, I love a lemon drizzle cake.
Oh, I love
it. Okay.
Well, you're talking to the queen of lemon drizzle.
Yeah. Apparently, it's like crack cocaine, my lemon drizzle.
So I'm going to squeal on it. During COVID, we had 2 games here, and we were scattered. The crowd was scattered amongst.
You couldn't
Jack's
stand talking
diverting
to
his
people.
Yeah. And so this woman, we were having little meets in the village.
We were walking past each other, it was like a drugs drop.
So she was handing over lemon drizzle.
Yeah.
And then people were gesturing to each other across the stand going, like this. That's how good this woman's lemon drizzle is. Yeah.
Nice.
So yours?
So,
You might change your mind and go with lemon drizzle.
I really like a good chocolate cake.
Ah.
But would you class banana bread as cake?
I wouldn't, but that's
No,
my own
that's
personal
right.
preference. Some
That's
people
obviously
might.
banana bread, I suppose.
Chocolate cake.
Chocolate cake, yeah.
Really
I
chocolatey.
like chocolate layers.
Chocolate.
Like it's,
gooey.
yeah,
Gooey.
chocolate on top.
I made one for Molly from the community team here, and it got babies in the chocolate ice cream as well, which was
Nice.
fantastic. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You never know, cake
Yeah.
might arrive at some point. I can't
Meanwhile, the
promise you.
nutrition team are going,
A little bit of sugar. You need a bit of sugar.
Yeah, you do, always.
Yeah.
yes. So, and I lied. So what do you want from this season?
I think
Somebody's been murdered. The scream from outside.
I think as a squad, kind of the aim very much is kind of minimum top 4.
Yeah.
Obviously coming 5th last year, but there was a bit of a gap between us and top 4. So yeah, the real driving force behind it is kind of, I suppose, trying to break into that. It's been the same few teams for a few years now. Trying to change that up a little bit.
Brilliant.
Good luck. We're going to enjoy watching.
Yeah, and more people coming to watch you here as well.
Yes,
That'd be brilliant.
yeah.
We just aim for the red hat. That'd be
Missing a treat. So, brilliant. Thank you
So
very
thank
much.
you. Thank you both. Thank you.
so much, Renee.
I'm trying.
But when we heard you guys having a media
On the
day, we
wheelchair.
thought now's a proper chance to come and talk
Yeah.
to some of the players.
100%.
And here we are. We're not going to do the in-depth expose. That's why Jack's left the room. We're just going to have a chat. And what basically is...
That just makes it look professional.
There isn't a word on the page.
It's completely blank. No, you may say something.
So I suppose what I'm going to say to you, Daisy, is what's changed since you started playing? Because although you're quite a recent player, a lot's changed quite quickly, hasn't it?
Yeah, so obviously I've just finished my second season at Loughborough, having come from up north with the Sale Sharks. And my first season, it was very much, I moved here expecting not much game time. I was sat behind Sarah Hunter, but it felt silly of me not to come here and learn from the best of my position, and so it was almost such a good experience both at Premiership and International. So I came here and I didn't expect much game time at all, just really much wanted to be a sponge and taking everything that I could get. And then obviously she retired just after the World Cup, and then spot opened up, and it was a case of I have an opportunity now to try and start filling the massive boots that she's left behind and trying to make that shirt mine. So a massive ambition for me this season was just to be a consistent player within the starting 15. So last year I struggled with a bit of injury, and obviously with Sarah Hunter she started off the season, so I was in and out of the squad, and this year my biggest goal was just to be consistent and competing for that starting shirt every week. I think I did it every game bar one, so that's a massive, and I think that's what helped me really. Like I was on the pitch for every game, so you can train all you want, but nothing compares to playing rugby on the pitch in an actual game. So having all of that exposure, I learned so much from playing, and then managed to be fortunate enough to get a call up and end up in New Zealand through injury and getting my first cap for England. So that's been my dream for as long as I can remember. So for that all to happen, for me to be a regular starter here, and then for me to go over to New Zealand to get my first cap, it just all happened so quickly really. And the ambition is just to enjoy playing club rugby, carry on being a consistent member, push to be a leader within the squad, and then I always believe that if I enjoy playing rugby at Loughborough, then anything that comes off will be a byproduct of me enjoying playing rugby here.
Brilliant. Yeah. So what was your favourite game last season?
I answered the hardest game, but I enjoyed the game as well. So you were there, Ealing Trailfinders away.
Yeah, that was a cracking game.
It was tough, and it went down to the 80th minute.
It was nail biting. I was actually struggling to take photos because,
But that's my kind of game. I love a game that goes down to the bones.
And a real needle between the two packs.
And both
you guys were going at it. Yeah, and it was a hot day as well.
Such a hot day, and both playing such good rugby. You wouldn't have known who the winner was going to be, and I love a game like that. So that was my favourite game.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. That was a really good game. That pitch is like concrete.
I heard so many rumours about it, and then I got there and I was like,
Talking of pitches, how nice is it to play on this one?
Oh, it's lovely.
It's nice. On the carpet, isn't it?
Yeah, it actually, everyone calls it the green carpet, and even like friends at other clubs, I love playing at Franklin's Gardens because the pitch is just ridiculously good.
Yeah. Mr. Miller does a good job. So, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yes, welcome to Ladies Wot Pod. So your journey here was different to this lady's journey?
Quite different. So I started in the Isle of Man.
Oh well, it's a bit further out to sea.
Yeah.
Right.
And then played a year there, and then came over to Loughborough for university.
Okay.
But then my first year was sort of COVID, so didn't really get any rugby played that year, unfortunately.
Careers have been affected.
And then came into my second year and played with the Bucks, which I really enjoyed. And then my third year I went on placement, was just starting to creep into Lightning, just getting a bit of bench, a bit of TR as a front row, learning the ropes and getting
which side of the scrum are you?
Both.
You're both? Oh, yeah. That's why I don't know.
Yeah. So just sort of learning the ropes, getting the hang of things. Obviously it's a much harder competition in Lightning and the Premiership, so just getting to grips with it all. And then last year I sort of really threw myself into it a bit more, got going a bit. It's definitely with the help of Nathan, and learned to scrum a lot better, definitely improved. And then went back to Bucks for a bit and played, and really I felt like I really not became a leader, but sort of became one of the older ones of the group, and it helped a lot with my confidence there, coming back into Lightning again for the last few games of the season. And then got a start in the last game and really enjoyed it.
You look like you were having fun.
Yeah.
That
was definitely the highlight of the season, the end was definitely right where I wanted to finish, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it was good.
That was a cracking game.
Yeah.
And a very hard pitch. Very hard pitch. So, what is it that you guys love about the Loughborough setup? Because you all do. You can tell.
Yes, there's a real
buzz about you.
Team camaraderie feel about you today.
Those last two games particularly, there was a real buzz about
it was. You could see it growing.
I think last season was a turning point. If I compare last season to my first season, obviously a basically a whole new coaching setup, and the only thing that was consistent was the squad, the players that had been together. So we grew tighter. Last season was probably the hardest pre-season a lot of us have ever experienced, and we went through it together, and we had to go through the hardest thing, pushing our bodies to the limits all together as one. And then Nathan was massive on our culture and building a culture, and we really started to think a lot more about what happens off the pitch, not just what happens on it. And we grew tighter as a group, and as a result of that we started getting results on the pitch. Didn't always win games, but what the quality of play that we were producing on the pitch was exactly where I wanted to go. And you can tell by the last 4 games we had the ball rolling. Like, we started to show an insight of what this season is going to be about for us. And I think after getting results on the pitch and starting to play how we wanted to play, like, the squad were really starting to bounce off each other on and off the field, and we are a tight group that enjoy spending time together and enjoy going through those hard training sessions together.
Excellent.
I think there is, I was going to say, for all of our listeners, watchers, viewers, whoever, all of them, 5, who haven't been.
I hope the gym is going well. We have a lot of people who listen to us
in the gym. Yeah. But if you haven't come to watch Loughborough, it is well worth it. And I was seeing it parallel to the men's side in the way you were saying about being tight-knit. I was really getting that trust that the men have got now, that you trust each other, that when you're in attack, you sort of if you pop the ball up, somebody will be there. It was that sort of real on the same mindset, and some of the plays were as joyous as the men as well. So I think
this lady with the glint in her eye in the front row is always good for a photo, and you hurtling down the wing. It's like, oh look, where I've ended up again. Oh shame. I'll just have to run now.
I think it's the skill set that you need for women's rugby is fascinating. It's because you have to. You're not big enough to take the collisions the way the men are, so you have to be more skillful.
Well, not at Sadia Cabella.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but
she's a different breed, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. But on the whole, you have to be more skillful.
Well, yeah, statistically, the ball is in play a lot longer in the women's game, so we have to be able to run the ball in hand. We have to be able to move it a lot more than the men. So we enjoy that. We've got some really good ball players, like Skaz, Helena Rowland, Nelly, some great distributors. So running lines off them makes rugby look pretty good and quite easy.
It's fun to watch.
My grandson, they loved it. They loved coming to watch. So Harry particularly was able to, because it's not quite as frenetic as the men. So when sort of somebody who's learning the game can watch 100%. It and really see the stuff he's been taught at under 9s, under 10s. That's why. That's 100%. That's the defensive line. He was telling me.
So the most important question has to be asked by Liz.
Yeah, this is searing indictment. What is your favourite cake?
You can go first, Dan.
Do you love like a good lemon drizzle cake?
Here we go again.
Nobody has been paid to keep saying this.
But it has to be really lemony, otherwise it's very
drizzle.
Disappointing if it's a lemon cake. Yeah, like a nice little crispy,
I was
sugary.
saying to the other two, this during COVID, this became like an illegal drug being swapped in the village because you couldn't meet up with anybody.
Yeah. So we have to walk past.
We have to walk past, handing over the lemon drizzle.
Yeah, we were doing that, and what was happening in Downing Street?
Yeah, exactly.
Makes you wonder why anybody. Anyway,
I love a coffee and walnut.
Oh, very sophisticated.
That's left field, coffee and walnut.
So, and how's the media career going? Have you got
media career?
Yeah. Have you got Graham sorted yet?
Yeah. I wouldn't call it much of a career. Graham has pretty much given me an absolute amazing platform to have a go at doing commentary.
You do it really well.
And I first met Graham by going on the same show, and he was like, "You speak really well. Would you want to try commentary?" And nothing came of it. And then I went back on to help them out, and he was like, "What are you doing this weekend? What are you doing on Friday? Do you want to come along?" And I went along, and I enjoyed it, and it kind of came naturally. It's so easy to bounce off him and Lennie because they're both so good at what they do. And then it became consistent, and I've learned so much from them. I really enjoy doing it, like massively. And then
because I listen to you pitch side.
Do you?
Yes, I listen to you pitch side. So while the game's going on, Daisy spotted that.
I feel like sometimes I forget people are listening to me, that because you can't see them, and you're just chatting about the game. And Graham like really like makes me feel valued in the sense that I'm a little bit younger than Lennie, so I can.
Sorry, Lennie. Just a tiny bit.
So like I can add a bit more of like a more modern insight, like a more like what's today's game.
Yes, there wasn't lifting in the line out.
And managed to get over to the final and do it there. So
have you recovered from that yet?
I have, yeah.
No, I think you do it really well. I think you're a natural at it.
Yes. Keep going. Keep going. So thank you, ladies.
Yes, thank you very much. And
we'll look forward to seeing you in the season. I've got a few photos of you to edit this evening.
Oh,
in the corner there, do you remember? Yes.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. That's what we did. So good luck with the rest of the pre-season.
Thank you very much.
Well, we were talking earlier about Loughborough Purple and Lightning.
Yeah. Yes.
There we go.
Not a nail.
Oh, you see, nails and buttons on cameras don't really go together. You get stuck.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't have them too long.
Camera manufacturers don't think of people with nails.
Yeah.
Get that, Nicole?
Well, you see, I can't, for playing the melodeon, I can't have nails too long.
Oh, right.
Press things.
Musician.
Oh, what did you say you play?
Melodeon.
What's that?
It's the squeeze box.
Oh,
so
cool.
it's a diatonic accordion.
Nice.
To give it its proper name.
Very cool.
I just play for Morris dancing. So. It's tremendous fun. Anyway, welcome to Ladies Wot Pod. Ladies Wot Play. Meet Ladies Wot Pod. I think it's brilliant. We just want to chat to you really about how you've arrived at where you are in your rugby journey and what you enjoy about being at Loughborough and about being associated with Saints and being here, really. So who wants to start with how they got here?
I can go. Yeah, you go to Lightning first.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
So I was playing in Scotland and then was offered a contract or a kind of hybrid contract to go to France to play for a year.
Oh.
So we played for a year at Montpellier.
How awful for you.
Yeah, this is horrendous. Big struggle.
Yeah.
And then I'd kind of always enjoyed it. We won the French League. It was an incredible experience. But I'd always had one eye on the English League, and I knew I wanted to come over here afterwards. So kind of chat to a few different clubs a few months before, and then just really got on. Well, liked what I saw at Loughborough. I think it seemed like a good fit for me as a club and a place and kind of like an ethos. So yeah, that was 5 years ago.
Wow.
That's crazy. I know.
Oh wow, so you've seen quite a transition then from to where we are today with Loughborough. So has it all been good, or have there been a bit highs and lows for it?
Yeah, I guess highs and lows. So, my first 2 seasons we made the semi-final, and then thereafter we have struggled to kind of get into that top 4. So it's never just plain sailing. There's always kind of ups and downs. And
you're talking to 2 Saints supporters.
Yeah, exactly.
We bear the scars.
And I think, but one thing I think, Loughborough's strength, Lightning's strength, has always been the group of girls. So obviously the coaches and stuff have changed a lot, but there's been a really good core group of girls, and then I think that mix of students coming in as well is a really kind of special dynamic, and I think it works really well for us.
I do get the impression, talking to the other girls as well, that that's really strong at the moment. That you are really quite a tight, trusting bunch, and you could see it playing the games at the end of last season. I came to see there was that trust, there was that enjoyment of each other's company as well, and the sort of I'm just going to pop this ball up and somebody will be there, that sort of thing, and it's lovely to see. And the first couple of games I came to, I didn't get the real enjoyment, but by the end of the season, you were really rocking it, weren't you? It was
yeah, I think, and we've done quite a lot of off-pitch stuff. Nathan's really big on team culture and having a reason behind why we want to be here and why we play for each other, and I really think that showed towards the end of the season. We were properly digging in and we were fighting when our backs were against the wall. And I have no doubt that we'll just build on that this year.
I think that was such a hard, the beginning of the season was hard because our previous season was dark times. We really didn't perform that well. So coming off of sort of a negative season, it's difficult to immediately kind of get into the swing of things. But because we did do so much,
lose confidence quite easily.
That was a massive part, I think, for sure. But obviously then you spend more time together. We work really, really hard in training. So that's another part of it. It's when you suffer together, it bonds you closer, and then like when you're on the pitch you actually have more fun because we've all been through it together. We spend more time off pitch together, like, but that just comes with time, and so it's nice that like you were able to see that like that has also transitioned over the second season.
Yeah, definitely see it.
Yeah,
and even coming through the dark times together, you know, when you stay together and process that and get through the traumas of it all, that makes you stronger, and you build on that hurt and you push forward. So
And Scotland have started to fly as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
You're playing some really good stuff now. That, you know, that's all down to me going to watch the Italy game.
Exactly. You're absolutely right.
You could come to every game.
Yeah.
Well, you know. Yeah. No, I love that little stadium that you play.
Yeah, it's really good.
Is it the Hive Stadium?
Yeah.
Really, really cool
I think
stadium.
because the fans are so close, like it's a really good atmosphere.
Yeah.
We sold out against England last year, and it was incredible.
The place was just jumping.
Yeah.
It was really, really good.
Yeah, they put on a good day for like the fans as well, I think.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's a cracking location. And of course, it's Murrayfield is Murrayfield, but we've been in Murrayfield when there's literally 3,000 people watching a European game, and everyone rattles.
Yes.
Whereas having
you're away because there's that running track, isn't there, between the
whereas the Hive
is
is
just sort of
My husband's comment on it, and he really enjoyed the game, was it's the first game he'd ever been to where there were more women's loos than there were men's.
Oh, incredible.
That's well done.
And a chick.
There we go. It's really cool. But he said, it took me ages to find. I said, welcome to our world. Yeah. So and so you're in. Oh, I don't know what the tiers are, but you won your tier, didn't you?
Yes.
At WXB.
Yeah. So you're off to Canada as well, are you?
No, we are back to South Africa. So it's
what
not
a
done.
tough gig!
It's done on Six Nations.
You're
ranking. So because we
they
came
didn't elevate you?
fourth. No,
because it's not from it's not from the previous tournament. It's all from Six Nations rankings. So, which I mean, like it would have been nice to go into Tier 1 and like have a different kind of
just to be England,
but equally like us winning the trophy last year at WXB, like that's the first time that the Scottish like women have lifted a trophy.
I was
in 20
watching
years.
it. I was gripped.
So.
I was utterly gripped.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't go. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I was gripped. I thought it was a brilliant format tournament.
Yeah. But being able to go back now and defend that title is also just as exciting. Like lifting the trophy the first time was incredible. But now having something to
it's quite a nice trophy. There's some shockers out there. I hate to say it, but the men's under 20s.
Oh,
what's all that
Yeah, it was
nonsense
very
about?
strange. Not as bizarre as whatever it was that the Japanese trophy that they handed Jamie George. Big bottle of something, vitamins or something.
Yes.
Now, if you don't mind me saying, that's not a very Scottish accent.
Yeah, no. So I grew up in Canada. Yeah, and then it'll be 9 years, 10 years, 9 years. 9 years in August, I'll have moved to the UK. Yeah.
Wow.
And I played rugby when I was in high school, and then when I went to university, I was there for a semester, and I would have stayed because I liked Halifax. I was still in Canada at this time, but I was doing a Bachelor of Arts, and I knew there was no really like light at the end of the tunnel for me in terms of like uni there. So I quit and I went to work, and I worked in golf courses, and I worked at like a really nice resort property in the Rockies, and did all these things and saved my money and then moved to the UK. I'm fortunate that I've got an Irish passport, so that was what allowed me to come and stay.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're really useful. I thought of those. They're really useful, aren't they?
So when I moved back over, I was with one friend and I was working in restaurants, and after like a year, I was like, I really need to expand my horizons. So I started playing rugby again for the first time in probably 4 years at Cartha. It's in Glasgow, and I went there because I could walk there from my house. That was essentially, there's two main clubs in Glasgow, Hills and Cartha. They're rivals, and the reason I ended up at Cartha was because I could walk there. And so I started playing again, and things just kind of snowballed from there. Like there was one of the men's coaches was a development officer, so for like the women's team in Scotland, and so he just said to me, look, like we should see if you're eligible to play. And I was like, well, if we don't ask the question, then we don't know. And so I went on tour with the Scotland women in 2019 to South Africa, actually, which was very cool because then last year was like full circle for me because I got my 30th cap for Scotland there, but I also got my first cap there.
Nice.
So it was like a very cool thing. But yeah, so I went on tour, got capped. It was crazy. Like that was a wild experience. Something because I had never anticipated when I was playing again having all of these things happen. And after that, that COVID hit, and there was no real club rugby in Scotland. And then when things started opening back up again, there were some changes in personnel at Loughborough, and obviously I knew Nellie and I know a few of the other Scotland girls that play down here. And they were kind of my links to getting in touch with coaches and seeing if there was a need for me. And so I was just fortunate that my position was kind of opening up because someone who had been playing was moving, and so it gave me my foot in the door, which is what I needed. And yeah, really enjoyed it. It is a little bit more competitive here than it is in the Scottish League. That is developing every year, that it keeps going, but it's just a few steps ahead, I think. So being able to be down here and compete a little bit at a higher level week in and week out against other way more internationals. That's a big thing for me. I had just transitioned to the front row as well, and you don't get good at the front row without scrummaging against good opponents, right? Yeah. So when we're playing for Lightning and we're scrummaging against Welsh internationals and English internationals week in and week out, that was massive for me. So that when we go,
bring your game up always,
exactly, when we go back to the international stage, I have that exposure to those kinds of people. And yeah, so we've just been...
Who do you like scrummaging against the most?
Who do I like scrummaging against most?
Only because you're going to mangle them, probably.
I don't know, I wouldn't... I don't know if I could pick a
probably say who you dislike.
Yeah, I have a wide range of people I don't enjoy scrummaging against. I mean, there's it's for different reasons. When we were at qualifiers, we were playing Colombia, that was a good day at the office for me, because in terms of our strength and conditioning and stuff, our program is, again, probably more forward than theirs is, and so at scrum time we were way more physically dominant. So that was a fun day for me. But those aren't really the ones that you get the most joy out of, because you want to feel like you're beating the best, right? So yeah, it depends on the day, but I can definitely probably name a few I don't always enjoy for multiple reasons, legal or not. I won't comment. Yeah, those are on the car ride home. She hears a lot of it. Yeah. So, but.
Yeah, are there any refereeing decisions where you go home and go, really?
No, we agree with everything that referees say all the time. They never make the wrong decision.
What a good day at the office.
But in your house, there must be moments when you go home and go, okay, tell me how it should have been.
Yeah, no, definitely.
What's going on there?
Yeah, I always like to get Holly's opinion, but she is very fair.
Yeah.
And obviously always sees it from a referee side of things as well. So
which is also annoying.
Easy for you to see that.
It is annoying, isn't it? But then you have to go, oh yes.
It is helpful though,
Yes, I think.
But to be fair, she's quite often on our side as well. So she tells us what we want to hear.
She keeps us sweet sometimes. But there are times where she's like, CB, you need to shut up sometimes.
Or is it, you should know that law, you should know better than that.
Yeah.
Yes, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
So she looks like she's having a load of fun at the moment.
She's crushing it,
working very hard. It's paying off.
So
very exciting times.
Very, very exciting.
Yeah, it's nice to say.
Going up the ranks really quickly.
Yeah.
Well deserved as well.
Absolutely.
I'm impressed with, impressed with female referees. Some of them
don't mention the name.
No, don't even go there. Yes.
But, there you go. So thank you. We have a very probing question that we'd like to have.
Deep and meaningful question.
And we've had some interesting answers so far.
Yes, we have.
We're now worried what we're going to answer.
Yeah. What's your favourite cake?
I'm not much of a cake girl. However, I would do a good lemon meringue tart.
Yes.
But the meringue needs to be fresh.
So French soft meringue.
Yeah.
Rather than crispy.
Yeah. Or alternatively, and I put this in my other answer when we were doing the questionnaire, a bonbon cookie.
Oh yeah. Nice.
I would crush about 5 of those in a row.
Okay.
If it didn't make me feel sick after, because they're so sweet but so good.
It's not been a proper cake or a cookie if you don't feel sick afterwards.
Exactly.
You have not had enough.
Yeah.
I think.
I'd say just a classic carrot cake.
That is a
first entry carrot cake.
No, well, yes, from Lightning it's the first entry, but of course we do have a bid from the Saints coaches for carrot cake.
Yeah,
yes.
I would actually agree with that. To be fair,
Okay.
I do love, but the icing makes or breaks it, in my opinion.
So with the cream cheese.
I want a bit of cream cheese, not
Yeah.
too much, but yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Joe?
The winner so far on votes is lemon drizzle.
Wow.
Interesting.
I also like basically any cake.
Yeah.
She's not fussy, folks. So thank you, ladies. The reason we did this is we got fed up because we couldn't hear anything about Saints Lightning anywhere on the media.
Okay.
There just wasn't enough.
Apart from Graham.
Apart from the lovely Graham McKechnie
Yeah.
at the BBC.
But
We didn't think there was enough at a local level, because obviously there's some of the big podcasts, the good, the scans, and the rugby. So you've got an avenue in, but that's almost at international level, and it's talking about very. We wanted to keep it local, so we started this in order that two middle-aged ladies every week could talk about rugby as if we're basically down the pub.
Yes, as if we know anything.
So every week we talk about your game.
We do. So
Yeah.
we talk about Saints. We talk about Lightning, we talk about the wheelchair if they're playing, we talk about walking rugby, we talk about
Bedford Blues. And of course they have a very good women's team.
Yes.
They were hilarious.
And then we even go down to Toaster, under 9s and under 6s, who are my grandsons. And then we'll be obviously moving up a level next year.
So the idea was that we talk a bit more about what we thought, So we have a loyal band of listeners. Most of them are in the gym. You can tell by
or in the car.
Or in the car. Yes.
Yeah, they're not working hard enough in the gym because I am not losing any weight. Keep me taken to the gym and nothing's happening. So get on that treadmill, please.
Yes.
Work harder.
So that's why we do it. So thank you, ladies.
Yes,
thanks for having us.
Good luck. Good luck in South Africa.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we will see you
And good luck at
next
the start of
season.
the season.
Yes. Amazing.
Here we go. So. Hopefully, that was fun, wasn't it, Liz?
It was really good fun. I really enjoyed the day. Yeah.
Yeah, and our plan is that we'd like to talk to more of the team later on in the season as their season progresses.
Yeah.
At the moment, we don't actually know the schedule. We know a couple of cup games, but we don't know the PWR schedule for the season, so that's ahead of us. But yeah, I think you and I know I always enjoy, but I know you enjoyed the games you saw last season. So
I thoroughly did.
Yeah, yes. and it's great that they feel like they're on the up. And that game against Ealing was an absolute belter. Really, really good game.
I was doing I don't know what I was doing. Something else.
Avoiding West London very wisely, I think, would be.
Probably, yeah.
Because if you remember, that clashed with the Investec Champions Cup final. That was that.
Oh yes, yeah.
So it was a bit busy in town. So we're going to take a break for the next couple of weeks because I'm a lightweight and I'm going somewhere where there isn't any signal. The team, of course, will be up to their eyes in pre-season still. So when we come back, hopefully we'll have news of what happens at the Blackiston Challenge. That's always worthy of... And then we've got some pre-season Ladies Wot Pod on tour events to go. We're out and about again talking to various people connected with the club. So hopefully we'll bring you more interviews, more insight from, times at the Gardens.
I know. I'm looking forward to those.
Yeah, they should be. We've got a good selection there. And as we say to everybody, we want to just give a little bit of insight that you wouldn't necessarily hear on the things like the wonderful Saints show, and of course the good, the Scouts and the rugby, which is a bit random at times, but that's half the fun with podcasts.
I'd say only at times, as opposed to nearly every week.
Nearly every week with us, yes, nearly every week with us. So if you've got any ideas for who you'd like us to talk to, or what you'd like us to talk about. At the moment, our plan is to keep going with the subject areas that we've been wittering about for the last however long, because the feedback we've had is that's what you like us talking about. So that's what we're going to do. And thank you, Liz.
Just let us know in the
below, and don't forget, spread the word, subscribe, tag us, talk about us, because it's all about us. Because the more you do, the more we're seen.
Yes.
And
let us know what you'd like, because it isn't your pod, it's ours, but we will listen. Yeah,
we do. And thank you to everybody who said welcome back last week. Wasn't that sweet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Last week's was classic. Absolutely.
Yeah, last week. Yeah, I can't say thank you enough to Olivia and Claire. It was so much fun.
It was tremendous fun.
Haven't laughed. The IT department collectively were laughing over the weekend, weren't they? They were. Had a good time.
Jolly good. Well, Mrs. J, have a lovely break, and we will regroup in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
See you all then.
Bye everybody.